Bill Klein shocks fans, leaving Jennifer Arnold to start a bold new life with second marriage. Hello friends, I am Elena. Welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Bill Klein, best known for his role alongside wife Jennifer Arnold on The Little Couple, has stunned fans with a revelation that few ever expected. For years, Bill and Jen were considered one of reality TV's most inspiring couples. They faced challenges with resilience, built a loving family with their children Will and Zoe, and seemed like the picture of commitment. But in a twist that has left the fan community reeling, Bill Klein is now reportedly stepping away from Jennifer Arnold to begin a bold new chapter in his life, one that includes a second marriage. For longtime viewers, this news feels almost impossible to process. Bill and Jen met years ago, instantly winning over hearts with their warmth, humor, and deep partnership. They navigated health challenges, career shifts, relocations, and the joys and trials of raising two adopted children together. Their relationship was presented as a beacon of what love could look like under extraordinary circumstances. That is why whispers of Bill leaving Jen for someone new have created such a storm online. The report suggests that Bill's decision wasn't sudden but rather the result of years of private struggles. While the couple maintained a united front in public, insiders claim that tension had been growing behind closed doors. The pressures of being in the spotlight, combined with professional demands and the difficulties of balancing family life, may have created fractures in the marriage. For fans who followed their story faithfully, the thought of the duo parting ways feels like a betrayal of everything they once represented. Bill Klein is said to be embracing this new life with confidence, even as controversy swirls around him. The second marriage reportedly involves a woman outside of the entertainment spotlight, someone described as supportive, grounded, and understanding of Bill's need to rediscover himself beyond the image of the little couple. This union, though shocking, is being framed by some as Bill's chance to reclaim personal happiness, even if it means walking away from the love story that first made him famous. Critics, however, are not holding back. Many longtime viewers argue that Bill and Jen seemed inseparable, building not only a marriage but also a shared empire. Together, they juggled careers in medicine and business, while also raising their children with immense dedication. For Bill to step away now raises questions about loyalty, commitment, and the promises made publicly to his family and audience. Social media has been flooded with debates, with fans torn between supporting Bill's right to pursue happiness and feeling protective of Jennifer, who has long been admired for her strength and grace. Jennifer Arnold herself has not released a direct statement about the alleged separation and Bill's remarriage, but speculation continues to grow. Some believe she has chosen to focus on her children and her medical career, refusing to feed into tabloid narratives. Others suspect that her silence could be a sign of private heartbreak. Regardless, it is clear that the image of Jen as the resilient figure will only strengthen as she faces this personal storm in the public eye. Meanwhile, Bill's supporters argue that people change and that life is full of unexpected turns. They insist that his choice to remarry should not erase the years of love and effort he poured into his relationship with Jen. Instead, they suggest that this may simply be the next chapter of his journey. For them, Bill is not abandoning his past but rather evolving into a new version of himself. The idea of a second marriage naturally comes with questions about how this will affect Will and Zoe. The children have always been at the center of Bill and Jen's story, and fans wonder how they will adjust to such a dramatic shift in family dynamics. Blended families can thrive, but the emotional impact of seeing their parents separate and one of them remarry cannot be underestimated. For many viewers who feel invested in the children's well-being, this is the most delicate part of the situation. In reality television, audiences often form deep attachments to the stars, projecting their own ideals of family and love onto them. That is why Bill Klein's move is so polarizing. It forces fans to reconcile the difference between the public image and private reality. The truth is that no couple, no matter how perfect they may seem on television, is immune to difficulties. Bill's decision highlights the complexity of relationships and the fact that people evolve in ways that sometimes diverge from the paths they started together. Industry observers note that this dramatic twist may reshape how both Bill and Jennifer are perceived moving forward. Jennifer may be viewed as the resilient figure rising from heartbreak, while Bill may be cast in a more controversial light as the man who left behind a long marriage. Yet others suggest that over time the narrative will balance, with both individuals carving out their own new lives. Bill Klein's second marriage is, without doubt, a bold move. Whether fans see it as courageous or reckless depends largely on their personal beliefs about love, loyalty, and personal growth. Some will never forgive him for walking away from Jennifer, while others will applaud him for choosing authenticity over maintaining an image. Either way, the decision ensures that his story remains as captivating and complex as ever. As conversations unfold online, one thing is certain: the world will be watching closely to see how this new chapter plays out. Bill Klein's journey from beloved husband on The Little Couple to a man forging a second marriage is a powerful reminder that life is rarely as simple as it seems. Behind every reality TV storyline are human beings, with their flaws, dreams, and the courage to make choices that defy expectations. Whether Bill's bold new life brings him lasting happiness remains to be seen, but one fact cannot be denied: his decision has left a permanent mark on fans, altering forever the way they view one of television's most beloved couples. Dr. Jen Arnold has always been a woman defined by resilience, compassion, and strength. Best known from The Little Couple, she has lived her life under the spotlight, navigating both personal challenges and public misconceptions. But in 2025, Jen is using her platform to speak out louder than ever before, tackling an issue that has deeply affected not just her but countless others in the community of people with dwarfism: the use of the word midget. For Jen, this isn't simply about semantics. It's about dignity, respect, and the right for every individual to live without being reduced to a derogatory label. From the very beginning of her journey in the public eye, Jen has carried herself with remarkable grace. Viewers saw her as a dedicated doctor, a loving mother, and a partner who faced life's obstacles with humor and determination. But behind the smiles and heartwarming family moments, Jen has also dealt with a reality that many outside the Little People community fail to fully grasp: the weight of hurtful words. Among these, midget stands as one of the most damaging, historically loaded, and demeaning terms. And today, Jen is taking her stand, transforming personal pain into a movement for unity and education. Jen began her heartfelt call for respect by recounting the countless times she and others have been reduced to their height, instead of recognized for their humanity. She explained that the term midget is not just outdated, it carries a long history of exploitation. For generations, little people were showcased in circuses, sideshows, and freak exhibitions, labeled as curiosities rather than humans. This history still casts a shadow, and the word continues to echo with that painful legacy. When used in modern conversation, it's often tossed casually as a joke, but to those who have lived with dwarfism, it is a word that strips away identity and inflicts emotional wounds. In interviews, Jen has expressed her frustration with how society tends to downplay the seriousness of this term. When people say it's just a word, they don't understand the history attached to it, she explains. It's not just a harmless nickname. It's tied to centuries of mockery, dehumanization, and exclusion. Words matter. And this one matters deeply. Her message resonates because it's not only rooted in her personal experiences but also in the shared voices of a community long ignored. Jen's stand is also about her children. As a mother, she feels an immense responsibility to create a world where her kids, Will and Zoe, can grow up feeling confident, respected, and valued. Even though her children do not share her condition of skeletal dysplasia, she worries about the lessons they absorb from society's treatment of their mother. When someone calls me that word, it doesn't just affect me. My kids hear it. They see how others look at me. It teaches them something about how the world views differences, and I want them to learn empathy, not cruelty. Her campaign is grounded in both education and advocacy. Jen has been partnering with advocacy groups including Little People of America (LPA) to raise awareness about the impact of language. She wants to break the cycle of ignorance by providing resources to schools, workplaces, and media platforms. She believes that when people are informed, they can change. For her, this is not about policing language but about encouraging respect. We can all make mistakes, she acknowledges, but when we know better, we can do better. Choosing respectful words is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to show kindness. One of the key elements of her message is unity. Jen emphasizes that standing up against derogatory language is not just the responsibility of the little people community but of everyone who believes in dignity and equality. Just as other marginalized groups have fought for recognition and respect, the fight against the M-word is a call to allies everywhere. Jen often reminds her supporters that change happens when people outside the community lend their voices. "This isn't just our fight, it's a human fight," she says. "Because when one group is demeaned, it affects us all." Showing solidarity and amplifying her voice. Teachers have begun introducing conversations about inclusive language in classrooms. Parents are using her story to teach children the value of kindness. Even celebrities and influencers have joined the conversation, crediting Jen with sparking a movement that feels long overdue. But Jen knows the path forward is not without resistance. Critics have tried to dismiss her concerns, arguing that society has bigger problems than words. Yet Jen counters this argument with firm conviction. "Language shapes perception," she insists. "When we allow derogatory terms to be normalized, we reinforce stereotypes. And those stereotypes fuel discrimination in education, employment, healthcare, and everyday life. Words may not break bones, but they can build barriers." Her voice is not only shaping public conversations but also influencing policy. Already, there are discussions within some states about including the word midget in official lists of discriminatory or offensive terms to be removed from school textbooks and public documents. Advocacy groups are pushing for broader recognition, similar to how other slurs have been acknowledged and condemned. Jen's leadership has given momentum to these efforts, turning what once felt like a quiet struggle into a visible movement for justice. What makes Jen's call so powerful is her authenticity. She is not standing on a stage demanding change from a place of anger alone. Instead, she shares her story with vulnerability, letting people see the human being behind the advocacy. She talks about moments in her career as a doctor when patients underestimated her because of her height. She describes the sting of hearing laughter in public places. She recalls the countless times she's had to prove herself not just as a professional but as a person deserving of basic respect. Each story she tells connects with someone new, reminding them that words can uplift or destroy. And through it all, Jen remains hopeful. Her belief in humanity is unwavering. "I truly believe most people want to do the right thing," she says. "Sometimes it just takes one person to stand up and say, 'This is not okay,' for others to understand. I'm not asking for pity. I'm asking for respect. I'm asking for a world where differences are celebrated, not mocked." The response to her message proves that she is not alone. Communities across the globe are echoing her words. In schools, children are writing essays about the power of kindness. On social media, survivors of bullying are sharing their stories inspired by Jen's bravery. Advocacy organizations are reporting a rise in interest and volunteer participation. Slowly but surely, change is happening. This moment in Jen Arnold's journey feels like a culmination of everything she has stood for throughout her life: resilience, compassion, and determination. She is more than a TV personality. She is more than a doctor. She is a voice for a community that has too often been silenced. Her call for respect and unity is not just about a word, it is about rewriting a narrative of inclusion. In the coming years, Jen hopes to expand her advocacy even further. She has spoken about developing educational materials for schools, creating workshops for healthcare providers, and writing a book about her experiences. Her ultimate dream is for her children to live in a world where they don't have to fight these same battles. She envisions a future where kindness is instinctive, where respect is universal, and where no child has to grow up hearing their parent mocked for something they cannot change. Jen Arnold's heartfelt call is more than a personal crusade. It is a reminder to all of us about the responsibility we share. In a world often divided by differences, her message is refreshingly unifying. She teaches that respect is not a luxury but a necessity, that dignity is not negotiable, and that change begins with each one of us choosing to speak with kindness. As her story continues to spread, the hope is clear that one day the word midget will no longer be uttered as a weapon of ridicule, but remembered only as part of a past that society has grown beyond. Until then, Jen will keep standing tall, not in stature but in spirit. And with every word, every speech, and every act of advocacy, she is building a legacy of respect and unity that will inspire generations to come. When Jen Arnold and her husband, Bill Klein, made the life-changing decision to move their family from Florida to Boston, many fans of the little couple wondered how their children Will and Zoe would adjust. Moving is never easy, especially for kids who have already gone through so much in life. But now Jen Arnold has opened up about why her children are not just adjusting but actually thriving in their new Boston life. And the reasons are inspiring, heartwarming, and a true reflection of her dedication as both a mom and a medical professional. Jen shared that Boston wasn't simply chosen as a random destination. It was a carefully thought-out move that combined her career opportunities with the family's long-term well-being. For Jen, who works at Boston Children's Hospital in the simulation program, the city offers world-class medical institutions, a supportive academic environment, and an inclusive community where her children can grow and explore their identities without fear of being held back. But beyond her career, Jen emphasized that the focus was always on Will and Zoe and what kind of environment would best nurture them. According to Jen, Boston has provided a unique combination of diversity, education, and opportunity that has given Will and Zoe a platform to thrive. She explained that her children are surrounded by peers from different cultural, social, and academic backgrounds. In Florida, they had community and sunshine, but in Boston, they have found a sense of empowerment that comes from being in a city known for embracing differences and encouraging young people to discover their passions. For Will, who has always shown a curious and adventurous spirit, Boston has been a playground of discovery. Jen revealed that he has become deeply interested in history and science, two subjects the city naturally fosters. With historical landmarks, museums, and opportunities for hands-on learning, Will has embraced his new home with open arms. Jen said he thrives in school where his teachers encourage exploration and self-confidence. His natural charisma, combined with the city's resources, has helped him grow academically and socially. Zoe, on the other hand, has flourished in ways that highlight her creativity and independence. Jen noted that Zoe has found a love for the arts, something she's been able to dive into more deeply since moving. Boston offers rich opportunities for music, dance, and theater, and Zoe has been soaking it all in. Jen shared proudly that her daughter is blossoming into a confident young girl who embraces her talents without hesitation. She added that the city's welcoming culture has made Zoe feel accepted and empowered to pursue her dreams without worrying about standing out for her differences. Jen also reflected on how Boston has given her children a safe space to grow emotionally. Moving from Florida, where they had spent so many years, was not without challenges. But the family's resilience has shone through. Jen explained that both Will and Zoe were initially nervous about the change, especially leaving friends and familiar places behind. But with her and Bill's support, the kids quickly realized the move wasn't about losing something but about gaining new opportunities. Today, they not only feel settled but also proud of the life they are building in their new city. One of the key reasons Jen believes her kids are thriving is the way Boston encourages inclusion. She expressed gratitude that her children are surrounded by peers and educators who celebrate differences rather than seeing them as obstacles. As little people, both Will and Zoe have unique challenges, but in Boston they are treated as individuals first. Jen highlighted how the schools and community programs have been proactive in ensuring accessibility and inclusivity, which has helped her children feel valued and understood. Jen also mentioned the friendships Will and Zoe have formed since the move. Both children have built strong connections with classmates and neighbors, creating a sense of belonging that has made Boston feel like home. Jen acknowledged that as a parent, watching her kids laugh, grow, and bond with others has been one of the greatest rewards of the transition. Another major factor contributing to their thriving life is the way Boston encourages family-centered activities. Jen said the city offers countless opportunities for families to spend quality time together, whether exploring local parks, attending cultural festivals, or enjoying Boston's vibrant food scene. The Arnolds have made it a point to immerse themselves in the community, and that involvement has strengthened the family bond while also expanding Will and Zoe's horizons. Health and medical access have also been a huge part of why Boston has been the perfect fit. Jen openly shared that as someone in the medical field, she takes comfort knowing her children are in a city with some of the best hospitals and specialists in the world. She emphasized that the move has given her peace of mind, knowing that any medical needs Will and Zoe may face can be addressed by top experts in pediatric care. That reassurance, she explained, has lifted a significant weight off her shoulders and allowed the family to focus on living fully rather than worrying constantly about healthcare logistics. Perhaps the most inspiring aspect of Jen's reflection is the way she highlighted her children's growth and confidence. Will and Zoe, she explained, are learning not to be defined by their differences but to embrace them as strengths. Jen credits Boston's atmosphere of acceptance and opportunity for instilling that mindset. She added that both children have begun to develop leadership qualities, speaking up for themselves and showing resilience that makes her incredibly proud. For fans of the little couple, hearing Jen talk so passionately about her children thriving in Boston is a reminder of what makes this family so special. From the start, their journey has been about resilience, adaptation, and finding joy despite challenges. The move to Boston represents another chapter in that journey, one where Will and Zoe continue to inspire others through their growth and achievements. Jen closed her reflections by saying that while no place is perfect, Boston has given her family something truly valuable, a supportive environment where her kids can dream big. She emphasized that the decision to move was never just about a house, a job, or a city. It was about creating a foundation for Will and Zoe's future. Seeing them thrive now has confirmed to her that it was the right decision. In the end, what Jen Arnold revealed about Will and Zoe thriving in Boston is more than just a family update. It's a story of hope, determination, and the belief that with the right environment, children can not only adapt to change but also flourish beyond expectations. For Will and Zoe, Boston isn't just their new home, it's the place where their potential is being unlocked and their dreams are beginning to take shape.